Hi, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And yeah, don't mind me playing with the braids. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Welcome back to my yoga channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And today we are doing a real quick Get Fit With Me series, yoga edition, of course. And we are reviewing tried and true Black Yogi with Nico Marie, because she always be having the content on go. When I mean man, it's crazy. So this video just came out yesterday, so it's a day old, and it is going to be a 10-minute daily seated yoga practice. So we're gonna be seated the whole time. Yes, you've noticed lately in my yoga Get Fit With Me series yoga editions, a lot of it has been seated practices. And I think I alluded to it in quite a few of my videos, but when challenges happen in life, I lean towards yoga and meditation to kind of help me get through it, along with, exercise and all that good stuff. But one of the things I like to try to make sure I do is when I do the yoga, I focus on seated practices or practices where I'm grounded, because it's so when I learned this actually recently this year when I was in Sedona. When you have trauma that's happened, and I'm not saying it's been that bad, traumatic event, there we go. Any type of traumatic event or anything that gives your mind the first response of trauma, and it could be anything. It could be the most minimal thing that will, basically trigger anxiety, like that kind of thing. One thing that your body does as a response is, if you're someone who does believe in chakras and auras, you go above yourself. That's actually kind of a defense why sometimes when things like that happen, you don't feel present. You feel like you're here, but you're not here. You're just kind of phoning it in, if you will, right? And there's things you can do to prevent yourself from going above the clouds, if you will. And a lot of grounding practices can help bring you back down to earth. Bring the energy back to where it needs to be, which is within yourself and not outside of yourself, so that you can actually deal with things properly. Because a lot of times it's a defensive mechanism that the body does when you go through things. That's when the adrenaline kicks in and everything like that. You go outside yourself to kind of protect yourself, if that makes sense. But you can't stay that way. You got to get back. You got to go back to being present at some point, right? And ideally right away. But basically it's just like it's a fight or flight response that happens when challenging things happen in your life. So, because this has been a challenging couple of weeks for me personally, I have been doing a lot of practices that are grounded influence. So this one is another one. This is why we're doing this one next. And I'm hoping the next couple of weeks we'll get back to doing other type of practices. I feel like I've been doing the same practices for a while, but July was an interesting month. August was a little bit better. And this month in September, we went back to challenging again. And so hopefully we'll be back to where we need to get, Anyway, let's get to it. So in this practice today, we are going to start off in a comfortable seated position. Once we are there in that comfortable seated position, we are going to just work on our breath. So get a couple good inhales and exhales right out the gate. And then from there, we are then going to do a side stretch. We'll do that side stretch on each side, and then very, very slight, no overextending, and then using the opposite hand to put on our head to help stretch our neck. But again, do not try to force it. From that point, we then will move over to the next position after that. Before we actually did that side stretch, we actually did a gentle twist on each side. I did forget to mention that. And then from there, we're going to adjust our seating to be in a cobbler pose where we bend down for a couple of breaths, just stretching out our hips. And then once we do finish with that pose, I believe next we are going to do seated variation of the pigeon pose, and we're going to be doing that on each side. And from there, a lot of our positions will be then kind of related to this pose that we start off with before we get to that seated pigeon pose. There are going to be other stretches we do with this. this next pose that we're in is actually a variation of a yoga squat, Manasana. So we're doing basically similar pose, but just seated to get the similar impact and effect. And then from there, of the position, or you can add more to it like I ended up doing to get a deeper stretch. And this stretch, you actually really do feel it in your glutes the more you extend a certain way. So I was definitely happy with this pose that I typically have never done. So it was really good. Lastly, after this pose, we are going to then windshield wiper our legs after doing all these poses on our legs. And from there, we can either switch over to a kneeling position, and this is how we're closing the practice, or back to the comfortable seated position if the kneeling position is not so comfortable for you. And then that pretty much concludes the practice. So nice, short, and sweet in only 10 minutes. Hi, so that does conclude the video for today. How I rate it, I'm going to give it solid 9. Yeah, solid 9. Yeah, so definitely solid 9. And the reason why I gave it a 9 is consistency. She's just so good at this. It's almost not even fair. I would honestly, I think she's so underrated. She's so good at having this channel as a whole and having consistent content. And her voice is so soothing. The instructions are always so crystal clear. I'm at the point now when I do her videos, I don't even look at the video anymore. I can listen to her voice and I know I'm doing what she says to do. Like I gel with this yogi person so much. It's so good. And everyone else is amazing too. I'm not trying to like steer you away from any of the other ones I use. And pardon me, I'm sorry. My apologies. My allergies are still Today's the day. I still need, I know once I go on a run, it will be eliminated. I just haven't done that yet. So that's part of it. But anyway, I digress. But she's just really, really good at what she does. She just is. I wish she had more views than what she has. She really should be probably like, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think she should be like one of like the number one yogi instructor on YouTube. Cause she's just so good. It's, again, not even fair. But anyway, yeah, so solid 9, good practice. Definitely was exactly what I expected. It was a seated practice. So I knew it wasn't going to be going into some heavy stuff. It was just enough to keep me grounded, and that's what I was looking for. And I think also, too, side note, for those who are on my channel a lot, and if you haven't subscribed yet, shame on you if you're always on here, but you haven't subscribed, please do that. It would help my channel out a lot. Yeah, I hate having to say that, but I do need to say that. So yeah, please subscribe when you're on, like, you know, if you're watching my content a lot. But the reason why I brought that up is that I love how every single yogi instructor has different styles of yoga. I love how there's different types of yoga. And that's one thing I've learned through doing this channel for such a short amount of time, that whatever you're looking for as far as you as an individual for the day, it's really, that's one thing that's really nice about yoga. You can definitely cater or find a yoga practice for what suits your needs for that day. If you need something more intense, there's vinyasa, there's cardio yoga. There's a lot of other options where you can do things that will get you what you need to go. If you're looking for something that is even more intense, that has more of a muscle thing, you could start playing around Pilates. And a lot of the people who do yoga on YouTube also do Pilates too. I think I've shared one of them who does both. And that's actually, I did my first Pilates video probably about a month ago. And I've never done Pilates ever, but this was like such a nice intro. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not as intimidated by Pilates as I thought it would be. And you would think I wouldn't be, because they're kind of, yoga and Pilates are kind of like cousins, you know? But they're like not first cousins. But they're not distant cousins either. So they be at all the functions. They just don't talk to each other regularly. That's how I view yoga and Pilates, at least for me, because I was just always intimidated by trying to do Pilates, because I know there's machines you can use for Pilates classes. Also, you use a lot of weights, or you don't have to use weights, but you could. There's also like a ball you can use. And with yoga, you don't really need all the props. I mean, it's nice to have them, and you can use them for certain positions, but really for just like a simple, basic beginner's yoga class, you don't necessarily need the props. And so that's probably why I'm not as keen to do Pilates over yoga. Similar to, like, I like to run, and the reason why I like to run is I just need shoes, and then I go outside. It's so mindless as far as like what you need to do to get yourself ready. It's seamless. Whereas like certain things like Pilates, even cycling, and I actually love cycling, I don't do it as often as I would like, because that's an extra variable that I have to bring out to do. And sometimes for a lot of us, convenience is key. As much as you want to be active and want to have an active lifestyle, you also want it to be convenient for you too, because we're all human and we all love convenience. That's just the world we live in, period. If you can choose the convenient route versus something that's a little bit more step by step, you're going to choose the convenient route. Anyway, that was a little mini tangent that I decided to go off of just because, I don't know. Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.